Hi, this is MGTV, and of course, I'm Michelle Greenman, Women's Wellness Coach, and I teach women how to love their lives, live the best lives they can from the body out. Health is foundational. It is the most basic thing that you need to take care of so that you can love the life you've planned or live the life you've dreamed of. So this week I'm actually going to talk about next week because next week is Easter. And if you're like me or my family, we usually gathered around Easter and had dinner. Now I'm going to share with you a few tips on how to eat healthier and really make this holiday a time that you can spend with your family but not ruin the way that you've usually been eating or taking care of yourself. So usually what happened is my grandma would cook and we just pretty much eat anything that she made, and when I started to get healthier, she got a little bit offended that I didn't want to eat everything. But she definitely tried her best to accommodate me and what I like to eat that was new and different. And, you know, some of the things I didn't eat anymore, like I wasn't eating meat anymore. And she couldn't quite understand, but she always tried to do it. So I actually have written down a few tips I think are going to be very helpful to making sure that the family Easter dinner is enjoyable as well as healthy. So tip number one, eat earlier. If you're a client of mine especially, you know that eating late meals is completely sabotaging your sleep and your health and weight loss. So eat earlier. Instead of having dinner at 8 o'clock at night, have it at 6 or 5. And most people, when they're going over to these big family dinners, they're pretty much eating all day. So instead, it might be really cool to have breakfast with everybody and then have like an early dinner, so that you are balancing those meals, that you still feel good, you have lots of time to do other things, but that you're not sabotaging eating really, really late. And one of the reasons why this is really important not to do, especially if you're eating things like meat, is one of the reasons why, like, the time where people have heart attacks the most often is at nighttime. This is the time where all that fat is really getting into your bloodstream. You're not active and you're more likely to have a heart attack around 12 to 2 a.m. in the morning. So if you really want to prevent that from happening, you want to sleep really well, you want to be ready for work the next day, eat earlier in the day. Number two, make less options. One of the reasons that we don't have very good digestion is because we eat far too many different types of food at one meal. So instead of having like 8 different dishes, have 4. Have your main dish, have a salad, and have 2 side dishes. Maybe dessert if you like it. That's really it. Do not make this a really difficult thing and eat lots and lots of food and have tons and tons of options. It's really so unnecessary. You really don't need it. And it'll allow you to cook less and enjoy the family more. That's the reason you're coming together, not so that you can cook all day, so that you can actually enjoy your time together. Number 3, don't tell them what's in things. When you're starting to make new types of food, so just say you decide you're going to make a raw main dish, or you decide that you're going to make a non-meat dish for the first time. Don't tell them what's in it. Let them taste it first. Let them experience it first. My family always asks us, is there vegan in it? Right? Because they know that we eat different types of food, and oftentimes, like, I've made chili before and it tastes amazing and it has no meat in it, and people eat it and then they're like, hey, this doesn't have any meat? That's pretty amazing. So if you don't tell them what's missing, they're not going to have that thing in their head that tells them, oh, this isn't really going to taste good, before they actually taste it. But on the other hand, the next one is don't tell them it's something that is not. So if you make milk or sour cream or mayonnaise that doesn't have any dairy in it, don't call them these words. Tell them that it's a mayonnaise replacement, or tell them that it's something to put on their potatoes, but it's not sour cream. Because in your mind, if you're thinking, I'm going to eat sour cream or I'm going to eat cheese, and it ends up being this other concoction that's a replacement that doesn't really taste like the real thing, you're going to already have this thing in your mind of like, this tastes gross, I don't know what this is. And if it does taste amazing, like my mom makes this cheesecake with no cheese in it, that tastes phenomenal. People have actually told her that it tastes better than a real cheesecake. So instead of kind of setting them up for disappointment by telling them that you're making a cheesecake but it has no cheese in it, just don't tell them that it's a cheesecake. Say that you made a cake that's raw and or vegan and you hope that they like it and they enjoy it. Let them taste it, that they experience it, and then if they ask you questions, follow them up. Now the last tip that I have is use more veggies. If you're making this your second meal of the day and you're realistically wanting it to be a veggie meal, which I would suggest a fruit, but it doesn't matter, use more fresh veggies. There's a lot of times that we are making starches and lots of things like that, and we just have these little tiny salads on the side. Instead of doing that, try asparagus, one of the most expensive vegetables, but one of my favorites, or lightly steamed broccoli, and cauliflower together. That always tastes really yummy. There's so many recipes that just use vegetables as them. They are the lowest in calories and the highest in nutrition, amazing, full of fiber, and they pretty much make you feel full and they can taste really good. Now, things you can do with your veggies to make them taste better is coconut oil always gives a really nice flavor if you love coconut, and oil pretty much allows you to taste things better. If you're using less fats, use more herbs or seasoning. The herb types of seasonings you want to use are basil and oregano and turmeric and things that actually add some flavor and add some color. Another thing to do is to try one of the milk-free cheese sauces and actually make some sauce or a really good salad dressing that you can use as a sauce to put over your veggies. There's a couple that are awesome that use like avocados and lemon juice, and they actually make like a really creamy salad dressing that you can easily just put on the table and allow people to put over their veggies. Something like that is going to taste amazing, it's going to be super easy to make, and allows you to get more veggies into your meal, which do all the wonderful things I just said. Something else you might want to add, so a bonus tip, is seeds instead of nuts. They still have essential fatty acids, they have lots of minerals, but nuts can be a really tricky thing with people. Lots of times people have allergies now, but sunflower seeds, I've never heard of a person being allergic to sunflower seeds. Things like sesame seeds, which I've heard people being allergic to them, so you might want to ask. There's lots of seeds out there that actually, again, have that fat in there, allow you to have more nutrients, more fiber, and less calories. So those are my tips for having an Easter meal that's super healthy. Tomorrow on my blog, I'm actually going to be putting an Easter recipe, so check that out tomorrow. And have a wonderful, wonderful week. Start planning today for the meal next week so that you actually get the ingredients. And comment below. Tell me what you're going to be cooking. Who's coming over? I'd love to hear about it. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.